Good morning, everyone. My name is Xiong and my English name is Becca. My student registration number is 735970978W. Today, I will give you a presentation about how will the problems resulting from sleeping deprivation affect the Chinese teenagers. I will divide my speech into 6 parts, respectively: activity, impact, current situation, causes, solution, and recommendations. Now let's come into the first one, activity. Here's a question. When do you usually go to bed and what do you usually do before bedtime? Communicate with your deskmate and I will ask this question to you after 1 minute. Go. Okay, time's up. Jay, what about you?
I often go to bed at 12 o'clock, and before I go to bed, I often do play games and do some revision work.
Okay, what about you, Lucas?
I often go to bed at 1 o'clock because I think after class I want to take a rest and have some fun or playing games.
Okay, now let's go back to my presentation. About the sleeping deprivation, there are 5 main impacts that leads to this kind of issue, respectively colorectal cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, dementia risks, and depression and anxiety. All these 5 kind of consequences will do harm to the teenagers during the workdays. Now let's talk about the current situation of sleeping deprivation. According to the words from Victoria State's government 2024, they indicated that the normal sleeping hours for the teenagers is about 8 to 10 hours. However, the 3 researchers on the PowerPoint has shown that only 18.9% of the teenagers reach this figure, and about 59.4% of the teenagers sleeps for less than 7 hours. That sounds quite shocking, right? Now let's have a look at these 2 diagrams. On the left-hand side, it is a pie chart that illustrates the people who believe that they have experience from sleeping deprivation out of 20 respondents from the questionnaire. You can see that almost 90% of the teenagers believe that they have experience from sleeping deprivation, and that is a huge figure. Can you see those 2 blue parts of this pie chart? On the right-hand side, it shows that almost 80% of the teenagers sleeps for less than 7 hours during the workday, and compared to the upper figure, this figure has increased for about 20%. Now let's talk about the causes of sleeping deprivation. There are 3 main causes leads to this issue, respectively high study pressure at school, excessive use of electronic devices, and insufficient sleeping education. For the first one, high study pressure at school, according to the words from Wang Hua, reporter, she indicated that when the students have too much work to do during the night, they have to stay up too late. And that will lead you to have a negative attitude in your subconscious, which will lead to have lack of sleep during the night. And for the second day, it is the same. So that creates a vicious circle every day during the workdays. An interview carried out of the normal teenagers studied in high school. He now studied in the normal high school downstairs, and he indicated that the high study pressure put by school and after school tutorial really freaks me out. For the second one, excessive use of electronic devices. As you can see, during the night, your parents and the school rulers will collect all of your electronic devices. However, someone may always figure the ways to use that during the night. And according to the words from Lee, 2024, the researcher indicated that almost all the users, when they use electronic devices during the night, the blue light produced by the phones will interfere the melatonin production. Maybe you do not know what is melatonin production. The melatonin production is the substance that's used for you to sleep in a better quality during the night. If your production of this melatonin is interfered, that means that you may not have a better quality of sleep during the night. And that will lead you to have lack of sleep, which means sleeping deprivation. For the third one, insufficient sleeping education, when the journalist Wang Xiaodong has made interview and the research during in the normal high school, he indicated that there are no awareness of this kind of education in the rulers of the school, and that will lead to the students to have lack of this kind of education, which will lead to lack of sleep, because students don't know why to sleep early. For the solutions, there are three main solutions correspond to the former causes. Respectively, restrictions made by government and law enforcement agencies use apps to monitor and create accessible mental health treatment. All these kind of three solutions have its way to improve this issue, together with the limitation. Let's use the third one as an example. You can see that in this picture, a man is taking the mental services by the doctor, and according to the words from the mental treatment services in New Jersey, USA, they indicated that when the students or teenagers have this kind of mental disorder, like post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, and substance abuse disorder, they can get services from this kind of treatment, and that will lead you to have a better quality
7 minutes
after this kind of treatment. Now let's talk about the recommendations. All these recommendations are highly related to the former solutions.
You have 20 seconds.
Respectively, set up channels for the reporting and investigating, create phone-free zones, and advise them not to use mobile phones and large scales of mental treatment services, because the large-scale mental treatment services can effectively reduce the cost of the mental treatment. That's all for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay, Leo, Han, go ahead.
What do you think,
Speak up.
what do you think sleep can bring to the students at school? And after school, if they sleep less time in the evening, what can they do to fix it?
Thank you for your question first. And as you can see, there are three main solutions here. For the second one, restrictions by the government and law enforcement agencies. These kind of restrictions can help the schools to make the laws and force the students not to sleep early, and not to do so much work during the night. And for the second one, students can set up some apps in their phones, and that will help you to limit the website browsing and texting during the night using the mobile phones. And for the third one, accessible mental health services. This can be put inside the school, and whenever students have the problems of this kind of consequences lead by sleeping deprivation, they can went to have this kind of mental services, and that can effectively solve their consequences lead by sleeping deprivation.
Okay, thank you there. Becca, with the causes, can you go back to the causes, please? It was the impacts. There was 5 impacts, I think.
Yeah.
Which one, did you find any of these surprising?
Yeah.
Yes, which one? Or which
Like
ones?
for the first one, colorectal cancer, initially I believe that lack of sleep can just bring you to have a negative mood for the next day, or you may not feel better later. But this kind of cancer will lead you to have insufficient treatment if you didn't receive the treatment from the hospital. And when the rate of this cancer increased for about 36%, that means that you may not have a safeguard of your body.
Can you tell me about the source? Like, I understand that Johns Hopkins medicine is probably reliable, but was there a study done, or like, how did they come up with that figure?
Yeah, actually this kind of figure and the consequences are collected on the formal website of Johns Hopkins Medicine, and there was an article specifically talk about this type of kind of
Were there
impact.
any other sources that you read during the research process that corroborated this, that had similar findings?
Yeah, I also find the solutions, impacts brought by the Institute of Medicine, US, and they also indicated that this kind of sleeping deprivation will lead you to have a higher BMI, and BMI will lead you to have the obesity, as you know.
Okay, alright. The current situation pie chart, is that the world, or is this for China?
It's just for China.
Okay.
The questionnaire I made like surveys.
Okay. With your solutions, you didn't hang on, so I studied graduate school, so you didn't include education, although I think you mentioned it as one of the causes was a lack of sleep awareness education. Can you tell me why you didn't include it as a solution?
Thank you for your questions first. Like for the education of the sleeping, as you know, this can be solved by the first one, restrictions by the government and law enforcement agencies. As the law enforcement agencies can set up laws to let the schools to have this kind of courses during the curriculum, and that can effectively solve that kind of
Education would be incorporated in the first
Yeah, in
solution?
the first one.
Okay, alright. Did you find much evidence? Did you find anything out about education as a solution during your research? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I discovered that in the US, you can see that there were some main restrictions made by the government. They indicated that students can end up their schools before like 4 a.m. and start their
No, I mean education. About,
yeah, I know. During this kind of law enforcement laws, they also indicated that respect of the days, the times they study at school, they have to take this kind of education in school.
Okay. All right. Cool. Becca, thanks very much.